to all the big homies. What we doing for our generation? How we living by example when we ain't creating? Opportunities we got, but we too busy hating. We lost focus, shit, I know I did, I'm on vacation. Too busy trying to get the clothes and cars. Too busy chasing hoes and living like the summer's ours. I'm ashamed I lost direction. I'm redefining life and sharing all these blessings. Little homie, take a seat and listen. I know your daddy gone, but I'ma be the intervention. Seize life, know you a king. Stay sharp and watch for the fiends, shit. Save your money, fuck gold chains. Reinvest the dough so you can get the whole thing. Yeah, you can get the whole thing. Incorporated, not talking about the cocaine. No lean, no perk. You need a clear head to get it, cause it's gonna be work, kid. And you could be the first man in your house to graduate to higher learning. Yeah.
All right, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We had some technical difficulties. So for the people on YouTube, guess what? You get to hear the little Johnny joke again. I'm sorry for any inconvenience. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan is my IT guy. Ryan is the best in the business, and he was able to get us back up and going. So we're going to start this thing all over with the little Johnny joke. So here we go. Little Johnny was running through the house, bugging the shit out of his mother. His mother said, "Go watch those guys building a house across the street, Johnny. Maybe you could learn something." Little Johnny stayed over there all day watching and learning. At the end of the day, Mother said, "Well, Johnny, did you learn anything?" Johnny said, "I sure did. Take the end of this string. Move it to the right just a little bit. Move it back to the left, just a cunt hair." "Johnny," screamed his mother in disgust, "go outside right now and get me a switch." Little Johnny said, "I ain't getting no goddamn switch. That's the electrician's job." All right. How y'all doing? Listen, man, I missed y'all. Welcome to the show. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is time to wake your ass up. That's right. Yo, before we get into the show, there's a couple of little things I want to talk about. One is next week will be the last show for this year. We're going to take the next couple of weeks after that, and we're going to spruce up things, man. We want to add some production value to the show. Because, you know, these kind of shows, they can get heavy. You know, nobody wants to sit there and listen to somebody tell them how they can be better all day, even though we need to listen to it. But it also needs to be entertaining to you as well. Something that can break the monotony, make you laugh a little bit. I know my little Johnny jokes are top notch, but I think we can do better. So we're going to take the next 2 weeks, plus it's Christmas and shit. We're going to take the next couple of weeks after next week. Next week we're doing a show, but after that. And then we're going to come back in January, man, beginning of January, and it's going to be a different show, man. It's going to be a different look, a little better look, and we're going to have a couple of little things, and we're going to start doing interviews, once we, open up the new show. So look forward to that. But for the people that have tuned in, I thank you. I appreciate you. You guys are the reason why I'm still doing it. Because, it's just something I want to get off my chest each week. And if it helps one or two people, then my job is done. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about outgrowing your old self. Outgrowing your old self is super important because here's the thing. We make mistakes in life. There's not anybody that's an adult that hasn't made mistakes in their life, right? We all have. We've all done it. We've all fucked up. Some of us have fucked up pretty big, and some of us just fucked up. No matter what it is, we have to grow from it. And we can't carry that baggage with us for the rest of our life because we'll never be successful. We'll never be happy. We'll never be, good in life. And sometimes the people around you, once you get a perception, that shit sticks with you for the rest of your life. Some of you guys ever have some of those childhood friends that might have been known for this and known for that and known for that? You could be 40, 50 years old and shit, but that's how you see that person. And that's cool, but it's unfair to that person because that person has grown. That person is a different, person than he used to be. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Your past makes us who we are, so you should not be the same person that you were 10, 15, or 20 years ago. If you are, there's something wrong. You fucking up. You're supposed to be different. You know, if people judged me the way I was 30 years ago, I'm sorry, they would not look at me the same. They just wouldn't. You know, I was the black sheep in my family because I was a drunk. My family loved me, but I knew I was the black sheep because I did it to myself. Nobody wants to be hanging around a drunk all fucking day. They just don't. They love me, so they dealt with me. But I was that drunk kid at the Christmas party or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it takes time for that perception to change. Personal growth comes from the mistakes that we made in the past, and we talked about that. Your failures is your experience. If you have never failed in life, then you have zero experience as an adult. And that's true shit. And I don't think anybody in life has not made mistakes. Just some of us keep making the same fucking mistakes over and over again. That's a fucking problem, right? When someone tells you that you ain't changed, that's not a bad thing. If you got some of your homies, some of your homegirls around you telling you, you know, you done changed. Well, I'm supposed to fucking change. I'm not supposed to be the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm just not that person. I'm not the person that goes out to nightclubs every night. How many of you people at 30 years old, just at 30, don't even go out no more? Can't do it. You tell your friends during the week, girl, we going out. We going to go out. We going to do this. We going to do that. And then come Friday, your ass is sleepy and shit because you done worked all day and your feet hurt. And it's more responsible to stay your ass home instead of going out to the club and spending $100 on a fucking bottle that really only costs $20 at the liquor store. You changing. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not missing nothing. All them motherfuckers at the club, you're not missing shit. Parking lot pimping, hanging out, people shooting and shit. That shit is for the birds. You grew. But we're going to talk about some life lesson mistakes and what makes us better. So, the most important life lessons we will ever learn will be from the bad decisions that we make. We need to learn from our mistakes so that we do not run the risk of repeating them. We must develop the wisdom and sense to make good decisions and choices. Good judgment will only develop if you truly learn from your mistakes. Let me break this down simple. Let's talk about basketball. Basketball analogy. If you're a free throw shooter and you play on the basketball team and you shooting 60% from the free throw line, you got to work on what? You got to work on your mechanics. You want to get your free throw shot to be better. You're making the mistakes. What are your mistakes? You go get yourself a shooting coach. The shooting coach might tell you, okay, you got to do your elbow in and you got to do this and you got to do that. You make the corrections. Your free throw percentage is higher now. True story. My son, when he was playing basketball, he's a damn good basketball player. But we had a shooting coach, and he was working with him on his free throws. You know, I was his basketball coach. I only knew so much, though. I was just out there because I wanted to spend time with my son and shit. You know, but this trainer told him, he said, move your foot in just a little bit. Then he started making fucking free throws. They had nothing to do with his hands. But he changed what he did because he kept making the same mistakes. And the same thing could be carried over in life. Because if you keep making the same mistakes, you don't grow. So you'll never be successful, which means you will never be happy. See, success isn't always about money. Success is getting yourself to a place where you're happy. And that's what's fucking important. That's what we're talking about. Truth be told, everyone makes mistakes. It's part of the learning process of life. Mistakes don't always have to be bad, but the human reaction to making mistakes is usually a bad one. If you're like me, you beat yourself up over making careless mistakes. Now, this is where we really fuck up sometimes, so listen to me. Don't spend too much time beating yourself up. You need to process that mistake so you can identify what not to do next time. But sometimes when you beat yourself up too much, you put yourself in a negative mood. Your energy becomes negative. So it doesn't allow you to grow. So you're going to make mistakes. Process that shit, deal with that shit, and move forward. You also got to learn how to forgive yourself. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. Now, you're talking about some mistakes are small and some mistakes are huge. Some mistakes you don't come back from, you know. But we're trying to talk about the mistakes that doesn't take your life away, right? So how do you forgive yourself? Focus on your emotions. Everything I'm about to tell you is about you. It has nothing to do with no fucking body around you. Your mama, your daddy, your cousins, your best friends, your mentors, none of that shit. This is not about anybody else's opinion. This is about you. Acknowledge the mistake out loud. Think of each mistake as a learning experience, because that's what you have to do. Because you can't waste too much time beating yourself up. Have a conversation with your inner critic. You know that voice that's in your head always talking to you? Sometimes it gives you good advice. Sometimes that shit don't give you good advice. But you need to have a conversation. And you also need to identify when you're being too self-critical. Quiet the negative message in your inner critic. None of that shit had to do with anybody else. See, the other people will fuck you up. When it's time for you to grow as a person, that's your journey. Nobody else is taking that journey with you. That shit belongs to you. So it doesn't matter what the other people were talking about. It doesn't matter. Because they're going to have a perception of you. And it's going to take years for that perception to change. At the end of the day, most mistakes or life experiences are fixable. Even if it is something that is major, time will pass. Never think you cannot grow and get better from any mistake in your life. Any mistake in your life. Now there are some, mistakes and shit that you make in your life, that can condemn you for the rest of your life, in prison or whatnot. Some things are hard to come back from, but most of the mistakes that we make in our life, they can come back from, even if it's tough to come back from. You can come back from, The whole reason I say making mistakes part of it is you can allow it to affect you. You can allow it to affect you because it's your growth. You won't succeed if you don't. It took years for people to change their perception of me. Years. This was not an overnight thing. And some people may still have a negative perception. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, because I know in my heart I do right by people. I care about people. I love my family. I do anything for them. I'll do anything for people around me. That's good enough for me. I don't do shit for other people's approval. But people's perception of you can hold you back to an extent. To an extent. It took me years. The day I stopped drinking was the day I stopped drinking. They still looked at me as a drunk. My first 24 hours of sobriety was huge for me. But it didn't mean shit to nobody else. Why? Oh, he's just going to start drinking again. So I didn't go around celebrating, showing everybody my 24-hour chip and shit. I kept that shit to myself. I knew that my challenge and my battle was mine. That was my shit to fight. But over time, people start to gravitate towards me. Over time, people start to take the things I said more seriously. Over time, things start to develop for me on a professional level because the people around me looked at me a little different. Now, some people, we laugh and joke about what I used to be. But those same people know now who I am today. But it took time. So if some people get stuck though. Some people need other people's approval so much that it keeps them from moving forward. That's why I say you got to take everybody else out of this fucking equation. None of that shit matters. None of it matters. The only thing matters is you wanting to get better, identifying your mistakes, and changing that shit. Because you want to be successful and you want to be happy. Don't let anybody hold you back from that shit. Growth is our focus. But I do say all of those things to say this. You cannot live up to someone else's expectations or down to their expectations based on their perception of you. Every day can be a starting point. Every fucking day can be a new starting point for you. Fuck New Year's resolutions. I know New Year's is coming up. Some of y'all want to lose weight and do all that other shit. Fuck January 1st. What about tomorrow morning? What about at the end of this show? There's no rules and regulations of when you start your shit over. It doesn't matter because it's up to you. You can decide right now, watching this fucking show, that as soon as you get done with this shit, you're gonna change for the better. You're gonna stop beating yourself up for making mistakes. You're gonna stop beating yourself up for failing. And you're gonna make changes right fucking now. Don't wait till January 1st. That's a fucking excuse. That's a cop-out. New Year's resolutions is stupid as fuck. Do it right now. Who cares what you did in the past? Who cares how your family looks at you? Who cares how your people around you look at you? Who gives a fuck? You created that. But you fix that shit too. And don't wait on their approval along the way. Don't tell everybody what you're doing to get better. Just get better. At the end of the day, who cares what they think? But you care what you think. That inner critic that you talk to cares what you think. And that's what matters. All right? I have 2 videos tonight. The first video is called I Quit by Prince EA. This young brother, I played a few of his videos in the past. He's really, really, for me, motivating for me. He's really not a motivational speaker. Like I say, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm just giving you some real shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these guys gonna get on the stage in front of a million people trying to talk some shit and get you for $10 each. I don't care about all that. I just want to change somebody's life. I want to help somebody's life. I want to be a mentor without knowing you. So anyway, this kid, Prince EA, he has his video. It's a short one because I got 2. It's called I Quit. And we're going to check this shit out right now. Love you.
This is gonna make a lot of people sad, and probably some happy, but I can't worry about that now. I quit. Fine, call me a quitter. I don't care. I just can't do this anymore. I've changed. You're not to blame. I'm just not the same person you knew before. So, not to be rude at all, but I'm done trying to live up to your expectations and down to them. Basically, I quit being bound to them. I quit following everyone's opinion of what's right for me. I quit holding myself back, living emotionally trapped, and not being who I'd like to be. I quit being loyal to these negative thoughts that have never been useful. I quit letting the guilt of my past get in my path and deprive me of a beautiful future. I quit letting people who have proven it they don't really care about me get to me. I quit hanging out with friends who on most days I couldn't tell you if they're friends or enemies, draining my energy. I quit letting society's expectations and timetables pressure me, direct my destiny and stress me. I quit forgiving everyone else in the whole world except me. I quit wanting the cool kids to accept me. I quit not saying what's on my mind at important times, letting fear come near and suppress me. I quit being so emotionally tied to the likes and shares of people I barely know online. I quit self-doubt and self-sabotage. I quit being a screw-up and a gonna-doer. I quit sleepwalking through life instead of living my dreams. I quit waiting for ducks to line up instead of spreading my wings. I quit not giving 100%. I quit dimming my light so that others won't have to squint. I quit peer pressure and people-pleasing. I quit the prison of perfection. I quit the fear of failure and the fear of success. I quit hesitation, desperation, expectations, devastations. I quit. And no, I don't have a 2-week notice, so please accept this as my letter of resignation. I know it seems sudden, but trust me, it has been a long time coming. But now, my time here's up. Oh, but don't worry. I'm grateful for the experience, and I have an amazing new life lined up. I quit.
What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? Shit was dope. Prince EA. I quit. Just say it. Fuck it. I quit. I'm tired of trying to live up to someone else's expectations. I'm tired of apologizing for who I used to be. I quit. I quit being that person you just keep kicking. I quit being that person that you look down on. I quit. I quit asking you what your perception of me is, or what you think about doing this business, or what you think about this, and you give me some negative ass comment. I quit. Because at the end of the day, guess what? None of it matters. I'm trying to cue up his other video. And shit. I quit. Because here's the thing. Sometimes what separates dreamers from the masses is fucking other people. It's other people. And that's what it is, man. This fucking video won't load. It really is, man, because at the end of the day, I was watching Steve Harvey the other day. And if I can't get this video, I'm just going to play it. I'm just trying to expand it is all I'm trying to do. I was watching Steve Harvey the other day, and Steve Harvey said, he had Mark Cuban on the show. Mark Cuban owns or is invested in over 150 companies. 150 fucking companies he's invested in. And Steve was asking him, how did you do it, Or what advice do you have, to deal with other people? And what he says is, just don't stop. Just don't stop doing what you got to do. Just keep on going. Just keep doing it. Because all you got to do is be right one time. People might, and I don't ask people, they might have this perception of me. Because I'm always starting some new kind of business. I always got some new kind of hustle. Always. And I come up with shit. And I just started. I don't sit there and ask nobody's opinion. I just start shit. I just started a lingerie line. Nustrena lingerie. It stands for Our Queen in Spanish. People that know me or people that used to know me 30 years ago, they laugh in your face if they ever thought I would do some shit like that. I don't know how to make underwear. I don't know how to make fucking robes and shit. I don't know. That didn't stop me from starting a company. I had a conversation with a manufacturer up in Atlanta. Because the way I was doing shit with my other clothing line, Bibwear, is I was doing what's called blank manufacturing, where you purchase clothes and other people make. And you add your logos and do shit like that. And it's a legitimate thing. Fashion Nova does it. They're a fucking $1 billion company. But at the end of the day, that wasn't, oh shit, I got it. That wasn't my passion. My passion is I want to make some fucking clothes. I want to be up there with Russell Simmons and fucking Kanye at the runway watching fucking people walk down the street in my shit. So I started a company. Well, Larry, you don't know how to start. Who gives a fuck? I go on Google. When I started Bibwear, y'all, I went on Google and typed in, how do you start a clothing company? And I just fucking followed the instructions. It's not hard. We were talking about the jail thing. I think a prime example of people not giving folks a chance is felons. Just this year, we're able to, people with felonies are able to vote, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And if there's anybody that wants to chime in on that, please do. But it's a beautiful thing because they paid for their mistakes. So why are you going to down them for the rest of their life? They paid for their mistakes. You understand? But people make it hard for them. So a lot of my friends that have felonies, that did time and shit, and they come out and they say they can't find a job. And I know it's fucking extremely difficult. I'm not in their shoes, so I'm not going to speak on it. But the one thing I can suggest is then fuck trying to find a job. Start your own company. Start your own business. Be your own boss. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Mark Cuban, if you guys know his story, man, he failed a lot. He didn't know what he was good at. He finally figured out technology, and that was something that he was good at. And I think he sold that company for fucking umpteen billion, whatever the fuck. He owns the Mavericks and shit. Now he's on Shark Tank and he does all this other shit. It's important that you keep trying different things until you find that one thing that works. That means you will fail a lot of the times, but you only need to be right once. And people will never remember all the shit that you failed on. They're gonna remember that one time that you hit it big, and they're gonna say that you're an overnight success. Trust me when I say that. So understand, other people cannot be a part of that thought process. If they are not on the same page as you, then they don't understand what you got going on. Most people don't expect shit from themselves. So here's the thing. You ask other people's opinion, the person you might ask might be, their inner critic might be fucking with them, and they don't think shit on themselves. So how are they gonna be happy and excited for you about doing some shit? So they're gonna downplay you. Then what are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and, yeah, you're probably right, I'm not gonna do it. So this is my message tonight. Fuck the mistakes that you made. Deal with that shit, get over it. Become a better person. Keep moving. And fucking be driven to do whatever the fuck it takes. Mute the audience. Turn that shit down because it don't matter. It don't matter. Fuck them. And you get better. The second video is called How to Deal with Haters. And I don't always like the word haters because just because they don't agree with you don't make them a hater. But it could mean they're lost. And again, you don't have time to dwell on their shit when you're trying to do your own thing. So this next video is called How to Deal with Haters. It's by Prince EA again. And I thought we would end the show with that. So I want to check this out. Hold on one second.
It goes, you can't talk about the ocean with a frog who lives in a well. Let me tell you about the ocean. Oh my God, it's huge. It's deep. Huh? You can sail across it for weeks and never get to the end. Yeah, right. I mean, the ocean is so deep that there are fish that live far down below that generate their own light. What do you mean by fish? Listen, you can't talk about the ocean with a frog who lives in a well. And you can't talk about your dreams with someone who doesn't have the ability to see. See, some people are so narrow-minded, they could look through a keyhole with both eyes. Helen Keller said it best. Some people are born with sight, but no vision. But don't get upset. It's not their fault that they can't see, because God, the universe, whatever name you want to call it, has given you and only you the gift of sight. Nobody else, they can't see it. They won't be able to see it. This is a law like gravity. Michael Jordan was not the first pick in the draft, wasn't even the second pick. They couldn't see his greatness. Recruiting expert Max Emfinger said, and I quote, Emmitt Smith is a lugger, not a runner. He's not fast. He can't get around the corner. And when he falls flat on his face, remember where you heard it first. Oh, we remember Max, and I'm sure 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time MVP, 8-time Pro Bowler Emmitt Smith remembers it too. Get this, in 1903, a famous scientist named Simon Newcomb published a mathematical proof called heavier than air, explaining convincingly, scientifically, and absolutely why mechanical flight was impossible. The very next day in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the Wright brothers took to the skies, proving his science wrong. Listen, when people say you're too skinny to do that, you're too fat, you're too old, you're too young, you're too short, black people don't do that, white people don't do that, don't listen to them. Do not allow someone who has had their dream killed to kill yours. Do not allow someone who has accepted their limitations to limit you. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Peace.
Remember what he just said, y'all. The people who are crazy enough to change the world do. Are you crazy enough? You don't have to fit in the norm. The norm is the masses. Be that 2% that people call crazy. I might come up with a new business every fucking day. I don't care because I'm just trying to get that one time it's right. I want so bad for that one time to be right. I'm going to keep doing this shit till the day I die. And I hope that inspires you, man, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter. Be crazy. Be that person. And when you come out on top, they're going to all act like they knew you, and they're going to all act like they believed in you the whole fucking time. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is you. The new you has a lot of mileage on you, but that mileage was needed to create who you are right now. No one can take that away from you, and no one can dictate your path. It's yours. Be fearless and going after what you want, and make as many mistakes as you fucking need to until you get it right. I want to see you guys populate some positive energy on the population, because we need it. We need that shit. And I want you to mush negative people to the negative section. Why, love? Fuck them. We don't need them. It's not part of your success story. It's not part of your journey. All right? Remember, next week we tuning in at 9 p.m. After that, we're going to take off the rest of the year, and we're going to spruce up the place. Maybe do some shit, I don't know, and have some extra shit to make you laugh and giggle. But we still going to speak that true shit to you, man, because at the end of the day, if one or two of you guys are watching this shit and listening and doing better in your life, then my fucking job is done. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. All right? Peace.
To all the big homies, what we doing for our generation? How we living by example when we ain't create? Opportunities we got, but we too busy hating. We lost focus, shit, I know I did, I'm on vacation. Too busy trying to get the closing card. Too busy chasing hoes and living like the summer's ours. I'm ashamed I lost direction. I'm redefining life and sharing all these blessings. Little homie, take a seat and listen. I know your daddy gone, but I'ma be the intervention. Seize life, know you a king. Stay sharp and watch for the fiends, shit.